This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
It's time for Baconsale. This is Baconsale. Baconsale. Bacon. I went a little too short, but that's really...
I mean, there's still more music to go if you want to keep going.
There is, but otherwise, if I kept going, I'd have to get into more of the song, and that's all I really wanted to do at that point.
Or are you showing your true colors now?
I'm showing my true colors. Well, the truth is I'm a little intimidated, and we'll talk about why I'm intimidated when I say I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
And we have a special guest here with us today.
Woo-woo!
Yay!
Brittney.
Yay!
Brittney, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Brittney.
That's great. And
I feel like I know you.
Right?
Brittney is a good friend of mine. We're very, very happy to have her here on the show, and also to kick off Feminogust.
Yeah, as a person who identifies occasionally as female, I feel like I am the perfect person to, do this.
You don't know this, but we've actually been talking about this show with you for some time now. In fact, if you go back and listen to our season 3 sneak preview trailer, we do talk about the Phantom show, and we were going to bring you on because
for that long.
Yes,
you've
for
been
that long.
Stalking me for that long.
It's been a while.
Much longer for Joel, so yeah.
And Brittney and I actually, we perform together at Quickwits occasionally, and also we've done a couple projects together, video projects and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the reason, when we were talking about our show today, which is what, Jacob?
Phantom versus Les Mis.
There you go.
In case you didn't read the title, that's what it's going to be.
It could have just popped up in their iTunes feed.
It's true.
But when we were talking about that, Kent and Jacob said, hey, who do you know that's really good at theater? And you were one of these first people to come to mind.
Who's good at theater?
Who's the theater person?
Do you like that Joel sings every show, but we still had to ask if he knows anyone else that could help us with this?
I have a confession to make. I may not be singing very much today because I'm intimidated because we have a real singer in the room.
Oh, well, now you've just ruined it. Now I can't. Now I can't.
Well, now they didn't see where I gestured. I could be going.
It was me.
Jacob,
he was pointing at me the whole time.
Yeah,
we've heard you sing.
Yeah.
I've been holding back this whole time, Joel. Tonight you're going to hear it.
But Brittney, why don't you tell us about your theatrical background?
Okay, so I started doing theater when I was really young. I mean, my mom said I basically came out of the womb performing,
nice.
Which is, Later we found out it's probably because I have autism.
Okay.
People laugh. Like, not really a joke. So
wait, can I laugh now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's been established.
And I don't know, like musical theater. Like I've always thought of myself as like a theater person, not a theater kid, because I feel like there is a distinction.
Really? What's the distinction?
So I feel like growing up, like in high school and even into college, the theater kids were the ones that were like wearing top hats and monocles to school, and they were very I don't want to say weird, but weird.
Basically, Joel.
Hey, I only wore the monocle.
Okay. Right?
Top hats.
And then theater people are just people that happen to really be into theater, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't have made that distinction. I probably alienated like half of the...
We alienate people all the time.
Okay.
Isn't that right, losers in Kansas?
They don't listen. They don't listen. It's okay.
Actually, no. I should have picked on North Dakota. They don't listen.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Oh, is that like your lowest listenership?
Yeah, down North Dakota and Alaska, we get pretty low.
Alaska, for real?
I think so. Otherwise, they're just not counting numbers, or they don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, South Korea, not North Korea.
North Korea loves us.
They love us way more than Kansas or North Dakota. I don't know why.
No, Kansas, we love you. It's wonderful there. I've seen the Ball of Twine, and it's amazing.
Have you really?
Yes, I
How
actually
big
have.
is it?
It's huge. They have a whole gazebo, and it's under there. But
Like using a banana for scale. Like what? How many?
like a circumference of bananas?
Hold on. A banana is now the standard of measurement.
Yeah.
It's got to be like
where have you been?
40 bananas.
It's like the state standard.
It's
Like end to
around
end?
40 bananas around the circumference.
And
That
how
doesn't
many-
seem like very many bananas.
That's a lot of bananas.
How many bananas like end on end standing?
Tall? What? It was taller than me, so it was over 6 feet tall.
Wow.
It was a big ball of twine.
Couldn't we just use Joel as a standard of measurement at this point?
At this point, we should. It was 1.5 Joels.
That's so cool because it almost sounds like jewels.
Almost. Anyway, and then give us a kind of a resume of works you've done in the past.
So I'm going to assume that I'm not going to assume. Are most of the people listening to your podcast in Utah?
Yeah, you can assume that.
Okay, cool. So for the last 8, 9, 10 years of my life, I've been mostly at the Desert Star, which is a theater here in Murray that does satire parodies.
Yes.
Things like that. And there's a lot of improv involved in it, which is why I really like it. I guess, that's what I guess I could tell you is that even though I grew up listening to things like Phantom and Les Mis and always dreamed of the day, when I could play the parts like Christine, or Eponine or whatever, I was either never pretty enough or again, like the autism thing and just way too awkward. And so I always ended up getting the funny roles. I was playing grandmothers when I was in high school.
Okay.
And that didn't really change. I think the last show I did at Desert Star was a monkey.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
You were quite good as the monkey.
Thank you.
Wait, so do you audition for like the lead role and they're like, you know what? We need a monkey. There's not even a monkey in the script, but we need a monkey.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them to do that to me just for spite. But no, at the Desert Star, the way it works is that they're very small cast, about eight or nine actors, and there really aren't leads. It's kind
of this rotating cast of, the one I saw was the Indiana Bones one, and there was Indiana Bones, and then his flame, and then the monkey, and the bad guy, and they all kind of had that, equal stage time.
They each have their moments, and actually the character roles are more fun to play. That's just the truth of it, because I've been able to play a few ingenues recently, and...
She's using French words, guys. Let's get fancy here.
What does that mean?
Let's drink our Perriers.
You don't... So... That's it. I'm leaving. No, an ingenue is like the leading lady.
I knew that.
So like in Phantom, Christine would be the ingenue.
Okay.
In Les Mis, Eponine would be kind of an ingenue, but so would
Fantine.
No,
Cosette.
That's
Yes.
the one.
Okay.
Coaster.
So it's young, up and coming, the romantic young lead.
Yeah, the one that the men aspire to,
B. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So
no, that's great, and really, like I've seen you perform both comedically, and then they have the variety show after the musical theater.
Oh, the Olio.
Yes, where they sing these beautiful songs, and it's you came out in a very beautiful dress and got to sing these beautiful songs, and she has a fantastic voice. Oh, that's why we've got recording today on the Stage Theater today.
If you're wondering what the echo is,
classy.
it's because we're on location.
We're on location at a secret, undisclosed stage.
Hey, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
The magic of podcasting.
Yeah. So there we go. And now we feel like got to know you a little better. And now we're going to jump into the thick of it all.
Sweet.
Every time we have a guest on, we like to ask them a series of questions. It's only 8 questions.
Oh, boy.
Just to get to know you a little better. And it's kind of a lightning round, so don't go overly thinking into these. Just give us your gut reaction.
It's not really what I do, but go ahead.
Answer wisely, too, by the way.
This will determine which one of us you relate to more. Not him.
Not me.
Not Jacob.
Is this like the match game, and then at the end, I get to...
Well, Kent is single, so...
Well, then.
Anyway, okay, ready? Which is better, Karate Kid 1 or Karate Kid 2?
I don't know. It's been too long since I've seen either one of them.
Couldn't pick one.
The first one.
All right,
Karate
there we
Kid
go.
1.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's standing behind that.
Kent always loses that one.
Which is worse, Star Wars Episode 1 or Star Wars Episode 2?
Oh, probably Star Wars Episode 2.
Okay, good. I like this. This is going well so
This
far.
is not going well.
Do you rate your movie, when you see a movie, do you rate them using letter grades or stars?
Ooh. I would probably give them a letter grade.
Okay.
Because you can get more specific.
1 point
Right.
for Kent.
Which movie is more America? Rocky IV or Independence Day?
Oh, I hate Stallone so hard. So Independence Day.
Independence Day. Communists? I like this. John Rambo. Don't shush me.
His first name, Rambo's first name is John. How did I miss that?
Yeah, it's John Rambo.
What else? The boring name.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
Can it not be both?
It can't be. Which would you say it is more?
Christmas. I'd say it's more of a Christmas movie.
I'm liking you so much tonight.
Wow. This is such a
You're my
plant
favorite.
right now.
Which is better, Buffy or X-Files?
Buffy.
Yeah, okay. We'll take it.
Which is better, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
It's like... That's hard. That's such an impossible
it's like
question.
killing a kid here.
Right?
This isn't written in stone. It's just recorded forever.
I don't know. Lord of the Rings.
Okay. And then finally, which is more Christmassy, Die Hard or Lethal Weapon?
Gosh. Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Brittney is my favorite. Brittney is my favorite. Brittney is my favorite. Yeah.
Throw my headphones off.
What was the final score on that?
I don't know. I think Kent got 2 out of the
5-2 or something.
All right, take it
6-2.
easy.
Yeah.
Let's just start the show.
Does it make you feel better to know that like 6 of those I just randomly picked?
Yes.
It really does,
Okay,
honestly.
good.
Okay.
It helps Kent
There
sleep
were
at
only
night.
2 of those that I had an actual
Don't
opinion
worry.
about.
In my head, I had already destroyed your credibility. So there you go.
That
Well-
he's the villain on the show. I should clarify that. He's the
Mom?
antagonist.
We call him that sometimes.
Oh, I
but
see. Now I get it.
But now we will get into the show. So, Jacob, why don't you explain away?
All right, so we've got 29 categories and if you listen to the Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings show, then you're familiar with this. If you have not, then the way it works is I'm going to read through a series of these 29 categories, and we're going to go with a simple majority. Whatever you guys choose, that's going to be the winner, and I'm going to tally them up at the end, and I will determine who the final winner is for the best musical,
Okay, so
Phantom or Les Mis.
In each category, Kent, Brittney, and I will discuss which one we think is the best, make a vote. 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 wins that round. That will get the official point, and then Jacob will comment.
And to clarify, and you mentioned this earlier too, Joel, you can change your vote. I am okay with that. I am keeping score. If another person makes an argument and you're like, okay, nope, I'm swayed, that's cool.
But once the round is over, it's over.
Round's over, it's over. Yep.
Okay, let's jump into it then.
Alrighty. First category, most inspiring song.
Wow, you're jumping right into that one.
I always got to start with a good one.
Yeah.
Do you think people know Phantom and Les Mis well enough? We don't give any sort of synopsis for both of these?
No, we need to be playing the music. This is where you play like the overture for
I am
Phantom.
your angel of music, Jacob.
That's horrifying.
If you don't know the story, the real brief versions of these two plays. Phantom is about an opera house where a young girl is seduced by a mysterious
Mutant?
ghost.
Mutant.
Like a mutant uncle.
He's from Xavier's
He's
school.
like a mutant uncle, basically.
A mutant uncle.
I hope you're playing the overture right now, Kate. You should be.
It's like Killer Croc in the opera house.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good comparison, actually.
And it's an opera house where this young girl is being seduced by this phantom type
Mutant
guy
uncle.
who kills people.
Right.
And then
Seduced
Les Mis-
feels like a stretch too, but okay.
I just watched it
does
last
it?
night. It was pretty seductive.
Yeah.
Rated R.
No, that was Freddy Krueger version with
Oh, yeah,
Robert
that's
Englund.
true.
That
Mhm.
was rated R. And then Les Mis is the story of a man named Jean Valjean who is a prisoner who escapes from... He doesn't escape from... He's released from prison, but then changes his life and his attitude in order to find a better life.
And if you're not familiar with that story, then you haven't been born yet.
Shame on you.
Yeah, it's like, well,
With
also
that
let's
one,
tell you about the Bible.
You don't think
right?
Phantom is as well known as Les Mis?
No, not
Well,
the
that's one
story.
of the questions, though.
the
Accessibility.
Jacob,
Stop ruining things.
sorry to tell this, but once again, you're wrong. Okay.
I'm definitely not.
The most inspiring song, or the song that gets
Man.
you pumped up, as we say.
That's stupid.
Do any of these songs get you pumped up?
They do, actually.
Okay, so
Oh,
what's
yeah.
yours?
Okay, you guys have to realize I'm a theater nerd. I've been in a number of productions.
Oh, right. The top hat. I remember.
Yeah, the top and the monocle.
Monocle.
No, but I've done Fiddler on the Roof. I did some Shakespeare. I enjoy theater. Like I love performing. I haven't been able to do it as much the last few years, but Phantom and Les Mis were both staples growing up. I love both of them so much. So to me, this was like candy. Like doing this research was so much fun.
All right,
I got to
Ken.
watch them and listen to them. I love this.
Right? You nerd out so hard on this stuff.
I watched 6 hours musicals in the past day.
Which is why
Dream.
you're going to go first.
That's a dream.
and Brittany, we'll
Living the
probably have
dream.
you last a lot of the time to be the tiebreaker because they often disagree.
Because I'm a woman. Oh.
Oh,
No.
Jacob. Why would you do that?
Jake. Wow.
Right, during Feminaugust? How
Wow.
dare you?
I know.
Somewhat September, okay? So the most inspiring song is from Les Misérables, and it's Do You Hear the People Sing?
I thought you were going to start singing it.
I was about to, actually, but it's just be embarrassing. Now I'm embarrassed in front
No,
of
no,
Brittany.
do it. I want to hear it now.
No, I want to hear it too.
No, I'm not going to do it. I get nervous when I sing, Do you hear the people sing? And then sing that. See, I don't know lyrics. Then I go, yeah.
The music of a people who will not be slaves again. That
Yes.
one. That's your vote officially? then?
Yep, that's my official vote. Les Mis with Do You Hear the People Sing?
I disagree with you a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. Because mine is actually One Day More from Les Misérables. One Day More!
Oh, here we go.
Whoa.
That goes into Colm Wilkinson. But I do think Do You Hear the People Sing is an honorable mention, and I really do enjoy that one to kind of get worked up. But One Day More, and when all the different singers come together and they repeat so many of the motifs that have come before, and so many characters get into it, and then in the end they all come together in this huge crescendo. I love it.
Okay.
I'm going to have to side with Joel on this one. No, it's
Again.
true. I know.
So the point goes to Les Mis.
She's
Yeah,
up,
it's Les Mis.
It's a
she's
Les
up
Mis suite.
plans.
Les Mis.
No, and here's one of the reasons why. So September 11th, the day that will live in infamy, I was in my first year in college at Weber State University, and I was in the musical theater department. And the day that it happened, they didn't cancel classes. And so I went in, and Jim Christensen, oh man, I always get that wrong. He was one of our teachers and one of the professors. And of course, it's a traumatic day, and we're all trying to figure out how to process this. And Jim plays One Day More for us. And it's just this, because it's this song of like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
We could all be gone tomorrow. We don't, but it's like almost like one day at a time, one day more sort of thing. And so I think it's like one of the most profound and powerful songs, but honorable mention for sure too.
Okay, I'll take it. That was a great story.
And just like that, Brittney made it real. We're all like, yeah, goofy. Oh, realism.
Brittney, we don't like to be relevant on this show.
No, that was actually really good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, whatever.
Kent's the villain. I'm the good guy.
No, not true.
By the way, you're going to hear the sound of pretension. Oh, nope, it didn't fizz. Never mind.
She's drinking Perrier to keep her vocal cords exercised.
All right. Next category is the best instrumental score.
All right. I'll go first on this one because I don't think there is a doubt of what it should be. I think this can be summed up in 5 words. Bwam, 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 bwam.
I'm going to teach you about
Inception.
words.
Bwam, bwam, bwam. Yeah, Inception.
Is that Inception?
Right.
Okay.
No, I mean, Phantom of the
Dubstep.
Opera is instantly recognizable. You hear that and you see the Phantom at the organ. You see the mask. You see the rose. You see everything. Also, I found out, and this is just one of those side notes, that apparently Pink Floyd has a song called Echoes, and apparently it has the exact same kind of chord progression in the bass line. Like, they talked about how they ripped it off, because that came out in 1971, and then Phantom came out in 86.
Yep.
And they talked about how they should sue, because it is pretty much, it's like a 23-minute song, but near the end, if you listen to Echoes by Pink Floyd, you'll hear it, and it is Phantom. Or I guess Phantom ripped it off. But then the guy said life's too short to be suing.
What? They could have got so much money?
Yeah, Pink Floyd needs money.
Yeah, like they
But
care.
still, Phantom made a ton.
You think Phantom made more than Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's still running.
I guess
Right.
that's true. Well, so's Pink Floyd.
Are they?
Yeah.
No.
Well, so wait, you're saying that's the best score, even though there are synthesizers throughout.
Synthesizers, drums, a full orchestra, it's all there.
Yeah,
And
the synthesizers are not part of an orchestra. I mean, they almost kind of add some tackiness to it.
it fits right in.
Does it?
Can't.
Because it's like old time France, and then there's synthesizers, like Tears for Fears are there all of a sudden.
I'm putting on my snob.
This is a good
May I
point.
put on my snob hat right now? So I saw Phantom of the Opera in the West End in London
La-dee-da.
at Her Majesty's Theatre, where it has been playing since it opened. Like,
Right.
that's where the theater is, where you go see it. And that moment when the music kicks in and the chandelier moves
And
up.
Flock of Seagulls showed up.
And the music just surrounded. Yes, exactly.
Right.
The music surrounded me. I got chills. I loved every second of that intro and the overture. It's amazing.
You're so cute.
I love this play. But I love Les Mis too. I saw that when the touring company came here to Salt Lake at Capitol. Is that where it came? I'm looking to you because you're my resident expert here.
Probably.
Okay, we'll
unless
say
it was recently and then be at the new Eccles. But
No, this is well. Actually, I tried to go see it at Eccles, and then the barricade broke, and so they canceled the performance that night.
I'm
Yikes.
sorry, everyone. The
Yes.
barricade has broken.
They
So
literally
the
came
revolution
up.
failed.
Yeah,
Is that what- that's what we're saying?
Well, it kind of did anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've tried it. I've seen both, but the music, the instrumental music of Phantom, I feel is the best.
I mean, there's just a little bit of 80s vibe there, but it is absolutely the best score. It's Phantom of the Opera.
You're picking it too?
Yeah, it's Phantom.
Brittany's never going to get to do a
I know.
tiebreaker here.
No question about it. It's Phantom.
All right, so for three. We're
Yep,
agreeing
okay.
a lot here.
All right.
Bum, 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 bum.
Next category is going to be best acting. And of course, there's some subjectivity there, but we do definitely want to start with Brittney for this one.
Yes.
Okay, so since they're both, I think, and I'm going to make myself look really stupid, I'm sure, but since they're both kind of more operettas,
Yes.
so for those who don't know, like a traditional musical has a fair amount of dialogue and then songs kind of like wedged in between the dialogue.
Right.
An opera, there is no spoken dialogue for them. It's just completely all sung. And then an operetta is what you'd imagine. It's mostly sung, and then maybe there's a few spoken things thrown in
Right.
here and there. So both Phantom and Les Mis are more operettas. So acting, I don't know. I think I think I will probably have to say Les Mis just because I think the weight of those characters, they're playing characters that
Let's
are
not
more
talk
like,
about body images here on Baconsale.
Miss Thénardier.
Thénardier.
Yeah.
Thénardier.
Yeah.
Body shaming the Phantom now.
well, but that's the thing. Like I
Body Shaming the Phantom was my band's name in college.
yeah, I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be Les Mis. I think the characters are more grounded in reality, and it's a harder subject matter. So
definitely
more difficult to pull off. So
Right.
we'll give them the acting.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I am totally agreeing. It's Les Mis because Phantom, it's they get the emotion across, but it's almost like hamming it up the entire time. It's so extreme,
Right.
that it doesn't seem very real. But it's all part of the fantasy and everything. But Les Mis, like you feel the emotion in every song, and so it's definitely Les Mis.
Okay. And I'm gonna do another sweep here because I completely agree. Because I feel like Phantom and Christine are the only ones really acting in Phantom of the Opera.
Raoul.
No, he's really kind of this bland
I
character.
tried, guys. I tried Raoul. Christine, Angel.
But I feel like you get, Jean Valjean and Eponine and Fantine and Javert. Like they all get some, and it's even Thénardier's. Like there's some acting there that's not found in Phantom.
By the way, I was doing a Snapchat while I was watching
Wow.
Les Mis the other night.
Okay.
And because
Are
subtitles,
you a millennial?
I know, seriously, but subtitles were on, so I'm also 90. And so there were. It was when Marius,
90-year-old millennial.
Snapchatting with subtitles. That's your next band name, Joel.
Marius and Eponine were singing, and he was basically like, "You're the friend I've always needed." And so I was like, "Oh, she's so friend zoned," and everything. You could just see the pain on her face, and I was like, "I feel you, Eponine."
Yeah.
Anyways,
Eponine. I love that.
Random
character.
tangents here on Baconsale.
That's what we do.
I just thought of something.
Oh no, what'd you think of?
Are you changing your vote?
No, not. I know that we can't go back, but I wanted to give an honorable mention.
You
When we
can.
talked about the most epic song, I actually do think that "Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again"
Yes.
is a pretty epic song.
Yeah.
I think it's like the quintessential longing for something that you've lost. And,
No, I
you know,
think agree. I agree
so-
that Wishing You're That's from Phantom.
From Phantom, yeah.
The second act.
So I feel like that deserved an honorable mention that I didn't get.
You're
do-
so
no,
nice.
I do that
You're
almost.
like, it didn't win.
I do that
Nah.
almost
Props.
every show where I'll go back, so I completely understand.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
All right, next category is going to be best costumes.
You know what? Les Mis wears rags. That's what they do. They wear rags.
But they're
And-
very similar rags. I mean, it's themed rags.
And time,
very similar to a bunch of
time
brown
period
rags.
rags. Yeah.
No, and I understand it's the time period and everything, but you think of costuming, I feel like you could walk into any costume warehouse and grab the cast of Les Mis out of there. It's all that kind of street rat, turn of the century type of stuff. But if you think about the Phantom, immediately you think of the mask, which is costume, not a prop, because it's on him. He wears it. That's right. I'm throwing out theater terms now. So
Nerd.
stupid.
Feel free to shut him down anytime, Brittney, okay?
No, it's cute. I don't want him to dig a hole.
Well, and I feel like, they really did a lot of design on that mask. Like, apparently when they first did it, was like a full face mask. We should also clarify, we're primarily talking about the stage plays.
Yes.
But we will bring up the movies and the books in the whole scheme of things. So it's kind of this overall picture. And actually, in the original 1925 Phantom, it is like it's like a baby face. It's like a half baby face with like a curtain hanging from the bottom of it. It's
What?
creepy looking, yeah. But I feel like the mask alone would get this kind of the category because you can't really single out a single costume from Les Mis as easily as you can with Phantom. And then they have also like the masquerade ball, which is amazing. They have the opera at the beginning with the Hannibal. That is also amazing. And everyone just seems to fit apart and have a unique look, whereas Les Mis, they kind of all blend together. So my vote is for Les Mis. I'm kidding. It's for Phantom.
That's hilarious. Who's next? Me?
Yeah.
I would say the masquerade ball it's almost like everyone went to Zurcher's and try to find like fancy old clothes because everyone's wearing like something completely different, at least in the stage production, but they're actually trying to make costumes there.
Christine's dress in the stage production. You were talking about the 25th anniversary or whatever. That she's like I don't know what the crap that was. I mean, she looked like Rainbow Bright, maybe, or like
which really appeals to me because
Whoa.
No, I mean I'm an 80s child.
just the worst.
Come on,
It's a little creepy.
Just the worst. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so it's Phantom of the Opera easily.
Yeah. No one does spectacle like Andrew Lloyd Webber.
It's true.
Like and that's one thing that
Is that from a movie poster? Because it really should be.
Right.
It should be, yeah. I feel like that was a tagline pulled down.
And he gets a lot of flack for it actually because people like say that his shows don't have substance but they have spectacle, you know. But you know what? He's one of the most successful.
Yeah, what's theater if not spectacle?
Right.
Although
So-
some would call Andrew Lloyd Webber the Michael Bay of theater.
I would call him the Marvel.
That's
of
messed
theater.
up. Oh, that's also wrong.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
So,
No, he's great.
So Phantom, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and since we're not really going to get into makeup as much, we didn't put that as a category. I just want to bring this up that if you haven't seen The Phantom without his mask, my parents had a book of Phantom of the Opera, and as a kid, I used to love to go to the page where Phantom didn't have his mask on because he looks really gross.
And because you're kind of a tortured soul.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And it took apparently 4 hours for them to do the makeup initially. And so we'd have to sit in the makeup chair for 4 hours. And then when they got to Broadway, they got it down a little more. And nowadays it's about 45 minutes. But it's like this horrific lips and eyes and everything all messed up. And apparently he had one performance when Michael Crawford talked about how he had one performance where he gave Christine Daae, or Sarah Brightman, a kiss. And then he pulls back and his lip came off and was stuck to her lip.
Ew.
Yeah. So he didn't know what to do. So he just went in for another kiss and then like put it back on.
No, it's
when
part
they
of
were
the
kissing.
story. He's a mutant uncle.
So his lip comes off.
Leper uncle.
Excuse me, my lip has come off.
Actually, my daughter, she was watching it with me. She's 8, and she was like,
Wait, she was watching Phantom or Les Mis?
Yeah, Phantom. And she's like, is that real when they pull off the mask? And I'm like, it's makeup. We're good. I'm trying not to just ruin you.
Well, and I watched the movie version
Right.
with my kids, and when Gerard Butler pulled off his mask, like I showed them the picture of what the Phantom looks like and talked about the makeup and how they did it. They pulled off Gerard Butler's mask, and they were kind of like, that looks weird. Like it was because it was like just red and bumpy.
Did you tell him that was just his
Yeah.
regular face?
Yeah, so that's how it looks
Are you kidding me?
like.
That's just Gerard
is
Butler.
very
He just
handsome.
looked like a pubescent teenager that was maybe going through a hormonal swing or something
Exactly.
like
Wow,
that.
that describes him well, actually. Yeah.
Wait, me or Gerard Butler?
Can it not be both?
Porque no dos. How many of those jokes we're going to make in a row, Kent? Dos?
Hopefully it stops there. All right. Next category is, and this is one of these categories is not necessarily subjective, but objective. Which one had the longest run?
Joel, this is all you.
Yeah, I think you have the facts, right?
Yes, I do. I always have the facts.
Well, I can tell you that the rights have never been released for Phantom, and the rights are released for Les Mis. So regardless of whether it's still running,
Can you explain rights really quick?
yeah. So
they're different from lefts.
So if you're a theater in Utah and you want to do Phantom, you have to get the rights for them. You have to get permission, basically,
Okay.
from the
And you
people.
pay for that, right?
Oh yeah, and so there are shows that are obviously more expensive than other shows, and so Phantom, they've never released the rights, although they did get to do it at BYU for some. I don't know why. Like they worked out some sort of agreement where they were able to do it there. But Les Mis has been done everywhere and they do it in high schools, which is weird.
They actually have
Weird.
like
Really
they
weird.
have an edited high school version. I was
Is
reading
it kind of
about
like
that.
Grease when they do
Weird.
Grease Jr.?
A little bit. They changed some of the lyrics and some of the scenes and toned down some stuff.
Like the ladies of the evening are actually
Love
selling
lady
bread.
ladies.
They're
What?
selling
Instead of selling their bodies, they're selling bread. And I'm just like,
What? That is insensitive to the gluten intolerant.
no. Here's my feeling on it. It has always, like, if you're not mature enough to handle the subject matter, do not do the show. Don't do it.
Well, it does seem weird, like when they do these kind of older shows in high schools. Like I don't quite get it.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
With so many options available, I'm like, why? Why are you doing Rent
Right?
at a high school?
You could do.
Avenue Q does not belong at the elementary. I'm sorry.
You could do
It's got
hair. I mean,
Yeah.
wait, this is nudity.
Yeah. Well, it's they could wear bodysuits or something.
So yeah, so my guess would be that Phantom has run longer. Am I right?
Well, and that's the thing I was looking at is that Les Mis opened earlier than Phantom, but Phantom has had the longest. Phantom is the longest running Broadway production in history, and it has done 12,278 performances.
And
Which-
be interesting to know how many
Wow.
Christines, how many Phantoms they've gone through.
Oh, so many.
And
Actually, Michael Crawford did it until last year.
And to give you an idea,
love Michael Crawford.
I love Michael Crawford too. So I said, Phantom did 12,000.
Yeah.
Les Mis by comparison is 6,680.
So
Unless you count West End, because Les Mis is still running, started before, still going.
Well,
But are we only
they
going
closed.
Broadway, or are we being-
No, but Les Mis actually closed for a couple years, and they've had a couple revivals, whereas Phantom has been continuously running the entire time.
And Phantom had, I don't know if this would come up later, so I'll just bring it up now. They actually Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote a sequel to Phantom called Love Never Dies.
It sounds terrible.
And I was so happy when I heard about it because as a kid, I was not pleased with the way that Phantom ended.
Yes.
Because I was like a huge fan of the Phantom.
Spoiler alert for Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Christine chooses Raoul, goes off with him, and the Phantom does this really cool disappearing act in a chair. and
Yeah.
he gets away.
But I felt so bad for him. Like, you want Christine to end up with the Phantom.
Do you?
do.
Because he's
I
like
didn't,
50 and she's like 17.
When you're, I don't know, like maybe like if I hadn't seen it till I was an adult, I'd
Right.
have more context for like pedophilia and things like that, but like
It's probably good to have that as a child as well.
right. But as a kid, I was just like, I don't know, like there was something so sad about him,
Right.
And you want him. He's a villain, but he's a sympathetic villain.
Yes.
Right. And
Perfect.
Raoul is bland. I'll give him bland.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Phantom was too volatile for me to like want him to be with Christine.
Right.
Especially when he like manipulates her and everything. And I'm like, dude, back off. Like, let her go
Right.
with her guy
So
here.
it's basically like Beauty and the Beast before that happened, before Disney made the Stockholm
Yeah.
Syndrome movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that.
It's hard
I
to
mean-
imagine Christine ever picking the Phantom, right? I mean, the first time I watched it, I was
Oh.
like, is she really considering this right now? Like, what's going on with the story?
We do have a
then,
female voice in the room.
Oh, but
Yeah?
she does pick him
Yeah?
in the sequel.
Well, wait, what?
in the
Okay,
sequel,
tell us the story and sing a song.
also a song.
If I can give a brief version,
Yeah.
unless you want to.
Of the sequel?
Yeah.
The Phantom escapes to Coney Island where he starts a freak show.
Yes.
Coney Island?
Yeah.
Yes. They go to America.
Yeah. Years later, Christine and Raoul and her son show up to perform at the freak show because she's been invited by the Phantom, though she doesn't know that it's the Phantom who's
Right.
invited her. And then she quickly figures it out.
I think
And then
he tells her.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I invited you.
and then hilarities ensue.
Yeah.
But then spoilers all over. So,
Please.
So it turns out that the night that the opera house burnt down, which is the last scene of the play in Phantom of the Opera, Christine actually goes back to where the Phantom is hiding, and they make sweet love.
Yep.
And that's where her child has come. Like the child is hers and the Phantom's.
Yes.
It's not her and Raoul's.
We'll turn that down part, the kids. If you can just edit that to say, and then they found a stork and they brought the baby.
Yes.
So it's the Phantom's kid.
It's the Phantom's kid. And Raoul finds out. He's devastated. It's
Yeah. And then
love
Meg, who is Meg Giry.
Meg Giry, which, by the way, Meg.
From Hercules?
Yes. Do your little Meg impersonation. No. The impersonation of her. The Where in the World. She's the one.
Where in the world have you been hiding?
Little Lottie.
Perfect.
No.
Wait. So what happens at the end? Do they actually get
So
together?
Meg goes bonkers crazy.
I'm like fascinated
No,
by
they
this.
actually they did a performance and the people did not like the ending because
We should have had best sequel as a category here.
Right?
well, because Meg goes crazy and actually shoots
Christine dead. Shoots her dead.
And, in anger. But then they reworked it so it became this accidental shooting in the subsequent performances.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Dead is dead.
Yeah.
So
And then-
Christine dies.
Yeah.
And the Phantom raises his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hold on, is he mutated?
No, but he
No.
is disturbed.
Yes.
Okay, mutated inside.
Yeah.
And
That's what
then
we can
Raoul's
say.
just like, well, I guess I'll carry my wife's corpse away.
Yeah.
And then the little son touches the Phantom's burnt, like scarred face, and that's how the
Yeah.
play ends.
Guys, this
Which-
sounds better than the
and
first
this is-
one.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And what's so sad about it is the original cast of the sequel were Ramin, whatever his last name is, who's just delicious, and that other chick who is also incredible.
Yeah.
And they ended up, when they filmed it and they did the filmed version of it, they used different, like the Australian cast, and they were just terrible.
Yeah.
They were just terrible.
Can we? Well, we'll get to that when we talk about best cast.
This show's going to be
All right.
3 hours
Yeah.
long.
Sorry.
It's gonna be
Moving
as long
on.
as the play. Okay,
Moving
moving on. We'll
That
move
was
on.
an interesting digression, though. I mean, as far as
I was
digressions
hoping
go.
you'd bring that up.
So
honestly,
Phantom,
Brett.
Phantom does win the longest run. That's what we were talking
Yes,
about.
that's
Yes.
logical. It wins the longest.
Yep. Okay, next category is the role you'd love to play.
The Phantom.
You want to play
Is
the
that-
Phantom?
I mean, Christine, listening to Sarah Brightman as a little girl is the reason why I wanted to become a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mimicked Brightman's voice when I was like, that's how I learned how to sing. That's how I learned
What did it sound like?
vibrato. What did it sound like when I was
You know
a
it's not
kid?
Brightman sound
If
like.
you like, we're like, please sing.
Spot on. That was spot on.
Is here the Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah,
That I just did that.
that was great. Ken.
Yeah.
Very well done.
So Christine, obviously, but really, if I was a guy, Phantom, absolutely.
It's a fun role.
Isn't there a whole thing about Gerard Butler like going to all lengths to get that role?
We'll talk about that when we get to film
Okay,
versions.
all right. So yeah, role you like to play. We've got Phantom. Kent, you next.
Javert. I would love to play Javert
You
because
love
I
playing
feel like he's
Russell Crowe.
It's
No,
pronounced
no.
Javert.
Don't say
He's-
that.
he's
because now I'm
German.
going to say that.
He's German.
It's German. I think he is probably one of the most.
And I am Javert.
He's
Do
one of
not
the-
forget my name. Do not forget me. 24601.
That's why. That's exactly why.
No, Javert's a good role.
I think
Yeah,
he
he
is such a meaty character, and he goes through so many turns. And by the end, you're just like, you really get into him, even though you're supposed to hate him because he never gives up. But I think that would be the coolest. Javert all the way.
Javert.
So it's a vote for Phantom and a vote for Les Mis.
Yes, sir.
All right, tiebreaker.
I'm the tiebreaker?
Let's hear it.
It's got to be Phantom. I mean, come on. I love, and this maybe not in this show, but in theater, I love playing the villain. The villain is such a fun role, and he is both the villain and the like protagonist at the same time. Like you love him and you hate him. I get to wear makeup. I get to put a mask on. I get to kiss pretty girls. This is all a good thing.
We're using that.
But
Oh, yeah.
but also, then honorable mention would be Jean Valjean because I do not have the vocal range to play Jean Valjean. But man, I love his.
Do you think
story.
Phantom would be easier than Jean Valjean?
Well, considering Gerard Butler did it, I think I could.
Yeah.
Oh, slam.
Burn.
Valid.
Yeah. Well, this is all if we were really good performers.
Right.
It's all that, and but yeah.
So Phantom then.
Basically, if we're Brittney.
Flipping the gender though, if I could play any female role, it would definitely be Eponine. I love Eponine's role.
I'd be Eponine as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Eh,
What?
No.
What?
no.
Why not?
Yeah.
She's
so
unrequited love. She's got an amazing voice.
Yeah,
she
she's
sings
all right.
On My Own.
I think it's because everyone who they've ever cast just sings straight through their nose. And it just, I can't, if they would cast, I don't even care if they belt, which by the way, belting is a singing term that is like, that's all they do. If you want to know what belting is, pick up any recent Broadway show and listen to the way that the women sing. It sounds like yelling. That's what belt is. As opposed to the classical, like, kind of like.
So Adele Dazeem, does she belt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Listen to Let It Go. That's belt.
Okay.
Like the entire way through. So I'm fine
I like how I
with
didn't know her real name. I just know her fake name.
Well, I like how you knew the fake name even though you didn't have to say it. So
Yeah.
Adele Dazeem.
No, and she's great. I mean, she's the original Elphaba. Well, that's
Let's not get into the weeds here.
That's debatable. But my point is
Wicked.
that that's why I hate them because they
Always cast girls on my own, pretending he's beside me.
Yeah, I know you were trying to be mocking there, but actually sounded really good.
Although it's a little bit like Britney Spears singing.
Yeah, I was
Right?
kind of like that. Oh, there's nasal. I can hear that.
Baby.
yeah. Anyway,
I'll sing that every
We need a
day.
crossover song there. All
all
right.
right, Phantom wins. Go.
Phantom wins.
Which one has the best humor? Let's start with Joel.
With me. Oh, thank you. Best humor is Phantom. There are some funny moments. I mean, Carlotta actually is pretty entertaining. In the movie version, I really liked Minnie Driver's performance. But there's not a lot of humor in that one. The Thénardiers, however, are quite entertaining.
Yes.
And when I saw them in the stage play, there was so much, because growing up, I listened to the original London cast of Phantom and the original Broadway cast of Les Mis, the two probably most popular versions. And I listened to those on repeat, and there's a lot of story you don't know. And I didn't really understand why the Thénardiers, everyone loved them. But watching the play, there's some moments where I'm like, they are really funny. And they do these little jokes just back and forth. It's a very good relationship between the two actors because they're able to play off each other. Like, just as an example real quick, at the end scene at the wedding, at one point, he gestures and like spoons fall out of his pocket because he's been trying to steal them. And then he just kind of looks up like, oh, something must have fallen from the sky. And then like a tray falls out from underneath his shirt. And it's all very physical comedy, which I didn't know. So I laughed more at the Thénardiers in Les Misérables.
And the lyrics to the song Master of the House are actually really, really funny as well. The performance is great. And I really think that they can break the fourth wall. I think they're the only characters in probably both plays that
They
can break
talk,
the fourth wall.
directly to the
And they'll
audience.
like bow to the audience and everything like that, just knowing that they are loved. And so, yeah, they're hilarious.
I've heard it said, and maybe Brittney, you can confirm or deny this. I've heard it said that Thénardiers are actually the Les Misérables. Like when they talk about the miserable, it's like they're referring to the Thénardiers' life and how they're just these miserable, always going to be miserable, making other miserable type people. But I don't know
That's
if
interesting.
true.
I'd never heard that,
Yeah.
but I mean, it makes sense. But I agree. It's Les Mis because of the Thénardiers.
Nice.
All right, high fives all around.
Yeah.
You're keeping
all right.
score of these, Jacob, right?
I have to keep score.
I high five myself.
He does that all the time.
All right. Which has the best choreography? I don't know if you're a dancer, Brittany, but maybe we'll start with you.
I mean, we're supposed to be able to sing, dance, and act, but I mean, I think I can move well. That's what I put on my resume. Moves well,
And then in parentheses it says like dancing.
Yeah.
You know?
like
So-
dancing.
No, I mean, I move houses well. I'm very good at it.
yeah.
Phantom. There's not a ton of dancing in Les Mis. So, I mean, you consider that they actually have a ballet number in the beginning, like when they're doing Hannibal and
That's
whatnot.
true. I love that part.
And in the staged version where they have that one male ballerina, he's incredible. So Phantom for the ballet.
All right, Joel.
I'm actually going to disagree with Brittney.
Ooh.
But only because I feel like I had Phantom initially, and then I switched it to Les Mis just because dancing maybe not as much, but there's more crowds in Les Mis and a lot more going on. And so I felt like the choreography of getting people where they needed to go, like at the end of the day and at the barricade and the numbers like that, or the different parts of that. I feel like there's a lot more choreography into that, and so I gave that.
Choreography or blocking, Joel?
Yeah.
Because you're splitting hairs.
That's what I was
I
going to
am
say.
splitting hairs, but I also wanted to be a dissenting vote every now and then.
Good.
But thank you, theater person, for referencing blocking, which is basically telling the actors where they need to go, versus choreography, which is more
Dance.
All right, Kent, let's hear it.
Joel, can I ask if you know blocking more from musicals or sports?
Musicals.
Okay, just wondering.
That's a great question.
They do that in sports.
Yes, there's blocking. Free throws as well in musicals.
I know free throws.
It's in musicals. So I'm going to have to say Phantom on this one because there are actually dance numbers. There are even times where Raul and Christine are dancing in a big crowd and they get lost in the crowd, but they are not even the highlights at one point.
During
And it's-
Masquerade with the swirling music. I love that.
Right. And it's just, it's fun. Everyone knows their place and there's a ton of people on stage. And maybe that's blocking, but everyone knows their place.
Know
and-
your place.
Right.
Like a woman.
No capes.
Whoa.
Brittney, come
Always
on.
comes back to that.
During Feminaugust,
Phantom has capes, okay?
Phantom has capes.
Right.
Has capes.
A cape.
No capes.
And
Singular
cape.
cape.
And cape.
He has multiple capes in the performance I saw. He kept taking them off.
Is that why you want to be Phantom so
popping
bad?
his collar?
Just for capes?
Oh, I've had a dream to be in a theater production where, like, I wanted to shoot a gun, wear a cape, and wear a sword, and I've been able to do
In the
all
same
three.
in the same play?
No, I shot a gun in one play, and then I was wearing a cape for one scene, and I counted it, so I was able to twirl it around. And then I had a sword.
So hold on. You want to wear makeup? You want to wear
You
capes?
don't understand theater, Kent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joel, I don't remember the last time I saw you so excited for a topic.
I love theater. I'm a theater geek.
I wore makeup once. It was to meet Kate Beckinsale. So it was
You did.
concealer. So,
Really?
Yeah.
No, I
got nervous.
learned how to do my own makeup. And
Like
I have,
Comic-Con?
Yeah, it was at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
I have
gotta
a
say it.
makeup kit, Kent. If you
That's
ever want to borrow
adorable.
it. It's the whole stage makeup kit.
That's
it's the really
just
good
adorable.
stuff,
By the way, your eyeliner looks great tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's called guy liner.
Guy liner is fantastic,
That's
Joel.
sexist.
Well applied. Okay, next category. Let's just stay on that with special effects. Brittney, let's just start with you every time now. I think I like that better.
Yeah, I think I like me better too.
So do we, actually.
So you're saying ladies first, Jacob? That's sexist.
Yeah, it's just the best. So again, Andrew Lloyd Webber is the master of spectacle. So special effects, you've got the falling chandelier.
Yes.
You've got the falling chandelier. You've got the boat in the water. I don't know.
That was really cool.
The candelabras that come out of the candles that come out of the ground to to create this labyrinth, the graveyards, everything. It's just it's Phantom, but because Les Mis has the wall, and apparently when the wall breaks, the entire show breaks.
I believe
So,
Donald Trump calls it the wall. We call it the barricade.
Oh, I see where you stand.
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go with chandelier as well. I mean,
Yeah?
Phantom. I mean, it's all about the chandelier, but there are a ton of hangings in Phantom as well.
Yes.
and it pulls it off pretty well. It's pretty intense.
You see the bodies drop down. Oh, my
Right.
kid's kind of freaked out about
They
that.
just
I didn't-
actually
Oh, yeah.
execute people, don't they? Isn't that how that goes?
I think so.
Yeah.
People from the audience, which
Well,
is weird.
it's creepy.
When you think of Les Mis and special effects, all you really get is blanks and people falling down. Phantom, she already mentioned the chandelier, which when it fell, I wanted it to fall faster. Like it's kind of this big sweeping.
dangerous.
Well, it's more of a theatrical kind of a big sweeping motion of this big thing, and then resting gentle-ish on the stage. I was expecting like boom, crash. Like I wanted that, and I didn't get it.
That would not be part of the show.
But then they have to raise it again, so I understand why theater had to do that. And then you get the boat and the stairs, and when they were walking down the labyrinth, and the stairs go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's really cool. They have the mirror effect, the special effect of him disappearing at the end. And then with Les Mis, you get Javert rolling on the ground in a blue light to represent a suicide in water. But the stage rotates.
I mean,
It's just rolling.
He rolls. No, he steps off this bridge, and they lift the bridge to make it look like he's falling. And then he's on the rotating stage, just kind of rolling around on the ground, and they have this blue light swirling around, and that's how he drowns.
Is that in the deleted scene? I didn't see that part.
That's in the play.
Okay.
Depending on where you saw it, at Shakespeare Festival, I think they had him kind of do like this swan dive forward, but he was rigged in the back, and the lights go black as his like toes are about to come off. So he's almost fully off the platforms, but he's
Okay.
So I mean that was kind of cool. And then when I saw it at Hale and Orem, they had him like rigged on some sort of like lifty thing.
What's the actual
So
term
he
for it?
Peter Panned it?
Yeah, so he was like, this is me like waving my arms like
It's a podcast.
like an octopus. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Okay, I see it. That's how he died.
One more reason
Yeah.
I'd like to play Javert.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you could do the octopus arms.
Yeah.
All right. So Phantom.
Phantom.
Octopus Arms, joke's over. All right, accessibility to non-musical fans. Brittney.
I would say that if you'd asked this question 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, I would have said Phantom. I think Phantom was definitely better known, especially through the 80s and the 90s. But there's been so many revivals of Les Mis, plus the movie came out
2012
more
musical,
recently,
yeah.
which obviously had a lot more success than the movie version of Phantom.
In 2004.
So I would say nowadays, if you were to ask people, like millennials and so
Don't
forth-
do that.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
serious.
think even smart people would like Les Mis as well.
No, they would.
I like how you said, don't insult. I want to insult.
Me too.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you ask people who weren't born in the 80s
Right.
or the 90s, then it would be Les Mis. But before that, it was definitely Phantom, I think.
My turn?
So the final answer is Les Mis then?
Les Mis.
Okay.
Yes.
Joel.
I am going to disagree with Brittany in the sense of just saying that Phantom, like you mentioned, operetta, that's what it was. So, like, there is a lot more, there's no dialogue whatsoever, no spoken dialogue, I should say, whatsoever in Les Mis. They're always singing, like, I have to go to the grocery store. Actually, that was Phantom. But that was the Phantom music. But you understand my point. Whereas in Phantom, they do have some dialogue, and I feel that makes it a little more, because people hear people sing talking, and it's going to put them off a little bit if there's no music with it. I also feel like the story's a lot simpler in Phantom, whereas you have to know that there's so many stories going on in Les Mis, and just different storylines, and you have to know a little bit about the French Revolution as well. I feel like you can plop someone in Phantom and be like, "Hey, it's a ghost story," and they're like, "Okay, I'm going to watch it."
I think I misunderstood accessibility.
If I may jump in, I think accessibility, I think the opera actually hurts Phantom because you don't really
dare you.
understand the story because they're singing. You actually can't understand many of the lyrics.
Well, maybe you can't.
Well, I couldn't because I'm a millennial or whatever, right?
No, you're not.
I know. Thank you so much.
We are
I've been
technically-
looking for that.
No, there's a sliver.
Exennial.
No, yeah, that's it.
Exennial,
Xenials.
yeah. Leading ladies are a trial.
But I feel like Les Mis is you can understand the lyrics of all the songs. The French Revolution is history, so you know it. And
Do you,
even though
Kent?
the story is
Do
more,
you?
Yes,
Who's the general who died?
that guy?
Do you remember the history show,
Javert.
Joel? Do you want to do this again?
Yeah,
That was
remember who
American
won?
history,
The
not French
American
history. Bring French history on, I will cream both of you.
But I feel like the songs are way more accessible than opera when people kind of just glaze over. And I feel like Les Mis, Phantom, you glaze over far more, and it is not accessible.
All right.
Les Mis it is.
All right.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I
Neither did I.
All right. Who's earned the most awards?
don't know. Probably
this
Phantom.
is another. I was going to say this is another factual one.
Oh, actually, I'm guessing Les Mis has won.
You're guessing Les Mis? Kent, what do you guess?
Les Mis, because
Oh,
I
you
looked
did
it
the
up.
research, yeah. So Les Mis.
Sorry,
I don't have to guess.
So Phantom was nominated for. We're just going with Tonys, kind of like how we go with the Oscars for the movie stuff. Tonys are like the Oscars of theater, in case you didn't know.
Tony Danza, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got a statue of
He's the
Tony
one that-
Danza to all the winners. But,
Hosted by Nobody Cares.
hosted by Judith Light and Mona.
Oh, Mona's the best. She's so spicy.
Phantom nominated for 9 Tonys, winning 7. And Les Mis nominated for 12 Tonys, winning 8. So it is Les Mis.
Okay.
But Phantom has grossed over $6 billion as of 2014.
Wow, that's not a category though, is it?
No, I was looking at the
And
success.
he's just trying to rub that in there.
No, I was looking at the different ones. It's amazing to me how much money,
How much
money,
movie?
how much movie these movies.
How much
make.
movie there is in that movie?
It's amazing though, and tickets are not for live theater. Tickets aren't cheap, and especially
Not
when you're
at all.
going to the West End in like London and stuff like that. I was shocked by how much we were paying.
Like
to see
how
this
much?
play? I don't even remember anymore. It was in euros.
Who knows?
But it was a lot.
Right.
He
He doesn't have to
even
count money
matter.
in euros.
They just tell you what it is, and you just like throw
Take my
paper
card.
at them.
Yeah, sure. 10 francs.
Or is their money still like gold over there?
Yeah.
Like it is.
At Her Majesty Theater, it's nothing but gold.
Yeah,
Yes.
just like-
paying gold.
It's like 3 chickens and a gold coin, something like that. Okay.
London.
All right. Which one has the best storyline or plot? So best story.
Well, I mean, Phantom I find more compelling, I guess, even though it should be Les Mis. I'll admit it should be Les Mis, but
it is Phantom.
But it's Phantom.
If I may, mutant uncle.
I know.
Here is the story.
I know.
Sorry, Brittney, I'm going to jump in here. Here's the story for Phantom of the Opera.
It's about a man named Brady.
They're looking for an understudy, and so they find one.
An ingenue.
And then the creepy guy who everyone kind of reveres in the theater, he takes a liking to her. He kidnaps her for 2 weeks. She kind of gets away. He gets her back. And that's kind of like the tug of war. And then he writes a play for everyone, and he starts killing people.
I
That's
know.
the story of Phantom of the Opera.
I hate myself.
It's not a very good story.
No, I love
Like it's
it.
like this timeless love story, if you want to call it that, but it is not super great. Whereas you have generations of stories in Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
You have Fantine and her death, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Cosette being raised by Jean Valjean.
Like we're giving you spoiler alerts for these.
Right, exactly.
Jean
Valjean
dies in the first
who has
act.
so much integrity that
Yeah.
he's been pursued his entire life and will give himself up to save others. And that's what he continues to do. And this thing is just epic beyond epic. I think the story has to go to Les Mis.
All right, Joel. Tiebreaker.
Brittany, you can change your mind at any point if you want.
I don't think she's going to do that.
Let him
Thank
do
you.
that.
If you want to right now.
Thanks
I
for,
appreciate that.
thanks for mansplaining that.
Oh
term.
my gosh! Don't even. Feminaugust is off to a bad
Yeah,
start.
you changed my mind, kids. No, it's Phantom.
I'd like to tell a quick little story about how, like I said, I grew up listening to Les Mis, listening to Phantom on the CDs, and I didn't really know the story as much, but Phantom I could pick up on pretty easily because the whole story revolves around Christine.
Right.
It's all about her, and then everyone revolving around her. Well, and the Phantom, of course, but we were floating. Me and my brother and my sister were all floating down this river up in Idaho, and it was just kind of a lazy river. It was a long, kind of lazy ride. And I started asking my sister about Les Mis, like what some of the stuff meant. And she's a huge reader. She's a big fan of she's read everything. So she starts telling me the story of Les Mis, and during the course of floating down the river, I heard the entire story of Les Mis, and we got to the end, and I was blown away. I had no idea how much depth was in that story, and I really enjoyed it. And while I enjoyed
more than what Kent just described in Phantom?
a little bit more than that, yeah.
Okay.
But just
did a pretty good
everything, all
job.
the plot turns and twists and stuff like that, I had no idea. And then when I listened to it again, it was so much richer because I knew the story behind it. And so I got to give this one to Les Mis as well.
Fair enough. Not changing my vote.
Hey, maybe we need to sail down the river so we can tell you the story.
Baby.
Yes,
Or get my sister to do it. She's really good
Yes,
at it. Right?
do tell me about
What's up, Jen?
Cosette and her simpering character, and Marius and his simpering character.
so much simpering.
So much
It
simpering.
really, it's Jean Valjean. The story of Jean Valjean is
It's
amazing.
so good.
Like just watching it last night when the bishop, like,
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
so Jean Valjean steals these candlesticks from this bishop, and the police catch him. They take him back, and they said he stole these, and the bishop's like, "No, I gave them to him."
And his song after that is actually my favorite song of the entire production.
Okay, I hope that's not a spoiler for a future category because there's one in here that I
Oh, is it?
no. Well, I brought.
Okay, shh, go on.
We
All right,
shall see.
we're going to follow
Go on.
closely on that category with best origin novel. So,
Les Mis.
Was that a question, or you just by Victor Hugo?
any chance you've read these? I mean, because
I read The Phantom.
Yeah,
It was weird.
It is weird. It's
I
not
read
like the music.
Yeah, I read a
No.
little bit of it in college and was like, yeah, this is not for me.
No, it's
He
not.
has a name though. The Phantom has a name.
Eric.
Eric with a K.
That kind of kills it, doesn't it?
Eric.
the Eric of the Opera.
I was just going to say
By
that.
the way,
Eric of the opera.
the Phantom in the book is described as a deformed conjurer who has a noseless, lipless, sunken-eyed face which resembles a skull covered in yellow dead flesh.
That's basically
he's kinda
Gerard
like Lon
Butler to a T.
Chaney.
Yeah.
No, and Lon Chaney Sr.'s makeup job that he did in
Yeah.
the 1925 silent version is the closest they've ever come to that.
There are
Ew.
some that would call me Eric.
What is that on?
That's Monty Python.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
There are
okay.
some that would call me Tim.
That's it.
So if I may share with you guys, I think we're all saying Les Mis, right?
Yeah.
So the original
Are we?
novel, are you not?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. so the novel, I don't know if you guys have ever read this, is 1,463 pages.
The unabridged version.
The unabridged. The abridged version is just over 800. Or if you read the one that I read in school, it's 32 pages on Cliff's Notes. So
I tried.
try that
How was
one.
that version?
It was amazing.
I think I need to read the unabridged version because I tried reading the abridged version. I'm like, I'm not getting anything.
No,
that I'm not getting
you
from the
don't
play.
need to because it's just
Yeah.
like 60 pages about sewers. Like you do not need to venture there.
That is totally my thing.
There's no Ninja Turtles there, Joel.
Yeah, have you met Joel?
Oh.
Boo.
There wasn't our version of the Desert Star. They
There
go into
was.
the sewers and there's like Ninja Turtles. And
Yeah,
other
little
things
little
on-
figurines there. It was pretty entertaining.
so-
That's adorable.
That's funny.
What did they call the Les Misérables play at Desert Star?
Oh, a little
More or less miserable.
Yeah,
I think
Les
sometimes.
Misérables, a little less miserable.
Yeah.
That was one of the first plays I ever saw at Desert Star. We went with a big group, and I was amazed by the parody. I really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
I think that's when they fly Fontaine, I want to say. They fly somebody.
Yeah.
Like to and fro across the stage. And it's
Well, and one of my favorite ones
She
too
died.
is she's
Well,
the angel.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
She's-
Her spirit's flinging around. But then I remember the "Bring Him Home" song, which is Jean Valjean's song about Marius.
Yeah. It's too high. This song's too high.
And so it's this guy trying to sing it, and his voice keeps cracking as he
Bring
keeps
it
going.
down.
Yeah.
Change the key.
It's so good.
That's hilarious. Okay, next category is best cast.
I mean, which cast? The
I know,
original?
I know that makes it hard.
It's kind of an overall.
I would have to go with the original then. I'm Phantom.
Who's been the most consistent? Maybe with cast might be a good
Phantom.
Phantom.
I'm going to say Phantom as well because I'm going to go with the cast that I remember and that most people know, and it's Michael Crawford and Sarah
Right.
Brightman. I mean, wasn't Christine written for Sarah Brightman?
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's wife.
Because
What?
she
What?
was, yeah.
Really?
That's why she got
Oh, you didn't
the
know
part.
that?
She was,
Yeah.
He likes women?
I mean,
I'm shocked.
But and then actually they were going to do the sequel earlier, but then they got a divorce, and that put the sequel on hold.
yeah, which
And
is probably why he kills Christine at the end.
Oh my gosh, it all comes together.
Well, and apparently he had a draft written, but his cat got on the computer and erased all the music from his keyboard. And so he had to
I've used
redo it
that
all
one
over
before.
again. Yeah, my cat erased my music. And Colm Wilkinson is fantastic as Jean Valjean.
good.
Yes.
Fantastic. He is the Jean Valjean. In fact, I loved in the 2002 movie, they pull him in as the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who plays the bishop in the musical, and he gets to give Hugh Jackman kind of that redemption moment, and it's amazing. But I'm giving it to Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman as well.
Yeah.
And the other guy. It's
Also,
like
Colm Wilkinson, he does the encore for the 2010 version with Nick Jonas. Am I right?
No.
Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy from
Dunkirk?
No, that's Harry Styles. Oh, I get it.
It's fine because Marius is a throwaway character anyway, so.
He's so simpering. You hate
I feel
simpering.
bad.
simpering.
I feel bad for Raoul. Raoul?
Also simpering.
Marius
Because-
versus Raoul. Go.
Oh my gosh, neither. They
You
can
have
have
to
each
pick one.
other.
They can have each other.
No, but if I had to pick Patrick Wilson or Captain Fishlips, I'm going to take Patrick Wilson.
Marius. I would take the character of Marius
Over
the
Raoul?
character of Raoul.
But Raoul is pretty well off.
I don't care.
And Marius is a whiny.
You're a gold digger, Joel.
I ain't saying I'm a gold digger.
But at least Marius is willing to die for his convictions. You
is
know,
he though?
Well-
I seem to recall him scampering off into the sewers on someone's shoulders.
into the snewers.
Injured.
Oh, this comes back to the snooers with you, doesn't it?
All right, Jake, what do we got?
All right, which play has the most re-listenability? That's a real word.
Re-listenability.
Mm-hmm. We hope you're playing along at home too.
Yeah, and you guys want to know where we're at?
Nope.
Too bad.
No.
Yeah.
Phantom definitely will take you less time to listen to, start to finish, I feel. I don't know. Les Mis is longer. There's just more music in it. And Phantom will get stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Les Mis, you have to listen to it over and over and over again before you become really familiar with the melodies and stuff like
So
that.
let's say this: you have to listen to both of them 20 times in
Yeah.
a row, right? Which
Yeah.
one do you hate the least at the end?
Ooh, if you put it that way, probably I'd hate Les Mis less because there's more.
But does that change the vote? That seems to be changing the category.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Most re-listenable. I mean,
Right,
it's
but I
something
mean-
you're not going to get sick of if you listen to it again. Kind of like you said.
Yeah.
You may not know the songs immediately, but there's more of it, more songs to know.
And I mean, also, you're really familiar with both. So if you're going out to your car today and you have to pick one, which
she
is
has a point. She's waving her
Okay.
finger.
okay.
If we're talking about if you can get like the full score, you know, like even with like the incidental music, then Phantom. Like, but most of the time, if you're just like highlights of, then probably Les Mis. That's my
So the official vote is what?
I don't know.
See, I would, if I may.
Yeah.
No, you may not.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
would say highlights. Phantom is great, but it's if I was thinking about it like, hey, I'm going to listen to the CD. I'm going to skip half of those tracks. Whereas Les Mis, I'm not going to skip a single track. It's a lot to get through.
Why are you skipping tracks on
interesting.
Phantom?
Because they're
Interesting.
There's,
Okay,
there's
then
so much
Phantom.
filler
What
there.
are you skipping?
Then Phantom.
So much filler.
Phantom, I
No,
would.
thank you. You put that. I would skip stuff on Les Mis. I don't skip stuff on
Okay.
Phantom.
Okay.
So
So
Phantom.
your vote's
Okay,
Phantom.
Phantom.
See, I'm the
and
opposite. I would
and
easily
Kent's-
skip stuff
Kent's
on
Les Mis,
Phantom.
obviously. So Joel, unless you want to add something else.
No,
Campbell.
it's Phantom of the Opera for me. It's easy. You can pick any track on there and start from there and go from there, and you'll enjoy it. And I can probably quote Phantom start to finish, whereas Les Mis, I might have some trouble in the middle there, especially when it gets to the second side. But it's Phantom. Re-listenability.
Phantom.
Let's stay on that train as well.
I'll start, okay?
No.
So, your number, sir? Thank you. Lot 665, ladies and gentlemen. A papier-mâché musical box in the shape of a barrel organ.
Who gave him caffeine? I know, seriously. All right, who has the
Attached the sticker of the figure of a monkey
wait,
dressed
that's
in
it.
Persian robes. Pink single. Yeah, I love that play.
All
Dance
right.
monkey.
Catchiest song.
Ooh, jumping in from that from re-listenability.
I don't want to go
Yep.
first.
You want to go first?
Nope.
Okay.
Kent.
Bum, 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 bum,
Inception?
bum. At night he calls to me. Is that a lyric?
Does he?
That was close to a lyric. That was very close to a lyric.
I don't know if Brittany's coughing or
In,
puking.
in sleep, he sang to me.
So yeah, it's Phantom just for that one beat. The lyrics, who knows them? But that you think of Phantom.
All right.
You think of that. Les Mis, you go, oh, there's like 10 great songs in Phantom, but you can't really place the one. And so catchiness is Phantom of the Opera.
All right, Brittany, are you ready?
No.
All right, Joel.
Okay. All right, Kent, welcome. Sit yourself down. And meet the best innkeeper in town. Come on. Master of the House? They did an entire Seinfeld episode about how that was an earworm and it could drive you mad because it gets stuck in your head
That's
so
a good
easily.
point.
And every time I hear, Master of the House, quick to catch your eye, never want to pass it by to pass him by, that whole dun 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 dun, it's just right there and it gets in your head so easily. So easily. And this is one of those that I get a kick out of it, and it's such a it's a showstopper. Like after it's over, they stand there and just let the audience applaud for a while because it's so catchy, and you're humming it on the way out. George was humming it on Seinfeld. Master of the House from Les Mis.
All right, there's no more killing time now.
I'm convinced. Joel has convinced me.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, like, it's funny because Master of the House, Masquerade. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like Masquerade is pretty catchy too.
Exactly.
Paper faces on parade.
Masquerade, hide your face so the world will never find.
Can I put a vote in for Castle on a Cloud? Because for some reason that gets stuck in my head.
Oh man! If you
For
ever,
sure.
this is the geek moment of me. But if you ever watched the 10th anniversary edition of Les Mis, where it's just them singing up at the microphones, the poor little girl singing "Castle on a Cloud." I don't know if it's a chair or a blank that goes off, but there's a loud bang in the background, and she's a professional. Like she keeps going, but she jumps. Like you see her go. Ah! It's like no, yeah.
Did the chandelier break?
No, the chandelier.
barricade.
This is Les Mis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're mixing musicals.
This would be the best musical ever.
I am a child singing in Cockney accents.
There you go. Exactly.
I can't not believe Les Mis won that one. Actually, catchiest song.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Master of the House.
I know,
Come
even though
on.
I just said that, like, Weber is the one that sings
He is,
writes
right.
earworm songs.
And
but-
maybe it's just because that Seinfeld episode, but every time I hear Master of the
yeah,
House,
it
it
is.
sticks.
But yeah, it's Master of the House.
Bum, 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 bum,
All right, next category is the best writing. Who's got the best writing?
Best
are you,
writing
Are you good going
/
first, Brittany, or you need a second to?
I mean, it's probably Les Mis.
There's no probably about it.
It's Les Mis.
Is it though?
Because they're like rounded characters. That's writing. There's dialogue through song throughout the thing. It's not just people singing at each other.
I'm going to disagree with you, even though I'm not going to win this vote, just because I love the back and forth between Monsieur Firmin and Monsieur Andre in Phantom of the Opera. Like when they're going back and forth, and it's like that. Hold on, I'm going to go. It's really not amusing. He's abusing our position. In addition, he wants money. He's a funny sort of spectre to expect a large retainer. He is nothing more than clearly quite insane. And it's like the two of them going back and forth with that. I love that. Yeah, there you go.
It will all walk out.
You guys are the best.
Go on.
And
All right,
worst?
let's go to set design. Who wins that round? Probably should have combined that with special effects.
Probably.
Except
Phantom.
for like blocking and choreography, there's a difference between set design and special effects, Jacob.
I know there's a difference, but for our
Phantom.
purposes,
Phantom.
yeah,
Phantom.
let's move fast.
Yeah,
So I
for
think
having
Brittany's right.
it has a smoky river. It's Phantom.
Phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chandelier, the candles, the smoke, it's all very ornate. Like the Masquerade set is amazing with the staircase.
All right.
Phantom.
It's
And now
Phantom.
Les Mis actually like just at least the movie I saw, it just relies on people staying in front of mics. right?
Well, no.
Well, that was a concert.
Yeah, that's the concert.
It's a concert
Okay,
version.
so they don't do that at every play.
No.
Okay.
Like there's
No.
what?
They're stepping both forward and to the side.
Joel, I haven't been to West End to see Les Mis.
No,
okay?
but like you haven't seen the actual play.
No, the
of
Royal Albert Hall one where they just sang in front of the crowd.
And so like no, you really got to see the play. That's fun.
Okay.
Like with all and it is kind of a bare bones set. There's not too much to it. I remember
Kinda
actually
like the rags
when I
they
saw
wear.
it at the Capitol Theater, like the opening starts up and it's like and they're pantomiming sledgehammers. And I leaned over to my brother and I said, for $50 a pop, you think they can afford some prop hammers? I was kind of disappointed in it.
Everyone's a critic.
They're mind hammers. You don't understand theater.
That was also my band's name in college.
Mind hammers.
Mind hammers.
All right, next category. Let's keep this moving. Best opening number.
Phantom. Well, yeah, because like you said, you sit in the seat, and all of a sudden, bam, 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 bam.
Hold on, though. Are we going prologue or are we going opening song?
Well, it's opening number, and so that means
So
music.
it's just a prologue then, right?
Because then, I guess, technically speaking, the opening song of Phantom would be Hannibal.
Yes, which is very forgettable.
No, except for
Yeah.
I feel like the opening number is like that first musical introduction to the play. Like this is what the play
Is that how you view
like.
it?
At least that's how I view
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
And so like with Les Mis, it would be Look Down,
Yeah.
which is a really good performance. But I love that opening with perhaps we may frighten away the ghost of so many years ago with a little illumination, gentlemen. And the chandelier swings up, and everything kind of comes together. It chills.
Hey,
Just
Jake,
think about it,
now I
it
know how
chills.
you feel
Yeah.
every show. This is great.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Phantom.
Yeah. Just because I judged it against the opera one, which I don't think is very good. But yes, the overture is great.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, best movie adaptation.
I hate Russell Crowe so hard.
Okay, but does he ruin the movie for
Kind
you?
of.
Okay, really?
but
It's sort of like the most important character, one of the most important characters.
I feel like Russell Crowe got a bad rap though, because I feel like he's not a terrible singer. He's like a roadshow singer, but he's paired up with like these amazing Broadway type performers.
Except for Amanda Seyfried. I hate her.
I
in the
liked
movie.
her. Do you know who I don't
She's
like?
like Snow White.
Do you know who I don't like in the movie adaptation?
Anne Hathaway.
Hugh Jackman.
Anne Hathaway.
Hugh Jackman performs
Any of them?
spectacularly as Jean
Really?
Valjean, but his voice is not Jean Valjean.
Or Kermit the Marius.
I thought he did okay.
Kermit the Marius.
You hate Marius so much.
That's where he got the name Captain Fishlips, was because of his role as Marius.
It wasn't in Jupiter Ascending?
No, I haven't seen Jupiter Ascending.
Okay, what
And I
are
love
our
that
votes here?
actor. I love that actor.
What are the votes?
Do you like Eddie Redmayne?
I do, and I hated him in that.
I've yet to see him in something I like.
Phantom.
Phantom?
How
Joel.
could you say Phantom, though? Because, I mean, if we're going Gerard Butler, who cannot sing, and he is your lead guy, he is
Gerard
the Phantom.
Butler is not a good Phantom.
He was terrible.
Because everyone else was incredible.
Well,
Really?
no, at the end, okay, so I have a big issue with Gerard Butler as the Phantom. And at the end, like, for example, Michael Crawford gets that really powerful, go now and leave me. And Gerard Butler goes, go now and leave me. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And every time he tries to hit a high note, he gets raspy. Like, I cannot
I'm just saying,
stand Gerard Butler.
Les Mis won 3 Academy Awards, and Phantom.
Yeah, because they
was
chocked
quickly
full.
forgotten.
Because they stuffed it full of Oscar-nominated actors who can't sing, and I
Do you know
take
Anne
Hathaway
serious
couldn't
umbrage.
sing?
Do you have an issue with
Nope.
Anne Hathaway?
Yeah.
Even with I Dreamed a Dream?
Yep.
Wow.
You're a theater nerd.
No, I am. No, I'm a snob. Like I understand that. I understand their vision, which was that they were trying to make the characters real and
Yes,
raw,
and that's why they went for
yeah.
They recorded
Yes.
on set instead
Right.
of having pre-recorded tracks.
But that's not, in my opinion, that's not musical theater. That's something different.
Okay.
Because musical theater, I go to the theater to hear beautiful voices singing beautiful songs like that. But that's my own personal.
So you don't go see Urinetown, is what you're saying.
See, I go to...
Unless the show calls for, like, you go see Next to Normal or something. But even in that, it's like, these are people who have dedicated their lives. Because I know how hard it is to be a singer. Like, and I'm not even nearly where I should be at my age. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you go in there and it's like, I took 4 lessons and now I'm going to sing this song. And I'm like,
Okay, but Brittany,
It does feel like that.
I think you need
It
to
does.
judge plays and film differently because film should be sincere. It should not be glee. It shouldn't be lip syncing, and you can tell. They
Sure.
went for an experiment here, and for some singers you didn't really care for, but I think
Yeah.
the experiment
Most.
pays off. Yeah, most. I think it pays off because it does
She's
feel
in the
sincere.
circles.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like they were.
She still chose Phantom, though.
yeah, for what it
So
what
I think
it
Les
is.
Mis, yes.
For what it is, it it did well for what it was supposed to be. I just didn't like what it was.
I mean, I think Gerard Butler is the equivalent of Russell Crowe in Phantom, and the whole movie rests on his really weak back. And so I have to pick Les Mis.
I don't know why the chick picked Gerard Butler. That really bothers me.
terrible.
It
Gerard
was-
Butler,
he
2000.
grew
Tiebreaker.
on me, to be fair, but
Christine did a great job.
Tiebreaker,
Yes.
Joel.
Amy Russell.
Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
I like the film adaptation. In fact, I that came out in 2004, and I actually wrote a parody of it for Divine Comedy. We did a Phantom with the HVAC thing, and
Man, I do not know what you're going to pick. What
Yeah.
is it going to be?
But I also like the 1925 silent version of Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney Sr. It's actually kind of scary. Like, it's a good horror movie. But I'm going to give this one to the 1998 version of Les Mis with Liam Neeson.
I was just going to say
and
Liam
Geoffrey
Neeson.
Rush.
Is that what?
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
did they sing in that one?
No,
They
no
don't,
singing.
and it's not the musical. But I do think the Les Mis musical is better than the Phantom film musical. So I'm lumping Les Mis up there, and it's mostly because of the 1998 version. I really like that non-musical version, even though it cuts off like right after Javert's suicide. Spoiler alert. Although we talked about
Like
that.
19
Spoiler. Yeah, we already talked about that.
We said he's rolling around in the blue.
No, but Geoffrey Rush is Javert, and Liam
fine.
Neeson as Jean Valjean. Very, very well done. And Uma Thurman even does a good job in there as Fantine.
Even her.
Even Uma
Even?
Thurman. Right.
Even Uma. All right. Which one wins on originality?
Well, I mean, they're both rip-offs of books.
Right.
So how can either one of them be original?
Well, I think it's more the originality of the story in itself, like in general.
The Phantom is way more unbelievable and like weird. So Phantom.
Phantom? All right, Kent. I think you're going to go Les Mis.
I'm going to go with Phantom on this one because I think the story and it is far more epic in Les Mis. But to create a sympathetic hero out of this guy who's mutated, and actually you root for
You
him.
realize he's not.
Right.
You realize he's not always mutated. In some versions, he gets acid thrown in his face. In some version,
Like Two-Face
he makes a
in
deal
Batman
with
Forever.
the devil.
Is that true?
In the Robert Englund version, he makes a deal with the devil.
In
Like,
some
not counting the
versions,
Robert
he's
Englund
just
version.
British.
yeah, he's just
So he's got
really
bad teeth. He's covering his
British.
mouth the whole
Oh, man,
time.
Britons and Kansas people are going to hate us in this show.
But I do think based on like the fact that they had this book that wasn't super well known, the movie that was a horror flick, and now you have this beautiful musical. I think the originality and the fact that you care about this character,
Right.
and you shouldn't.
It's a clean sweep. It's Phantom. It's an original story that didn't come from history books.
Stupid history.
Hate history.
So pretentious.
We all know you hate history, Joel.
Yeah. All right. Most emotional song.
Oh, man.
Can I go?
Yeah, please.
One day more. That for me, I was watching that, and I was watching both, going, man, I wish I had a heart because I want to feel something in both plays. Because I thought I'd cry in like I Dreamed a Dream.
I wish I had a heart.
Fantine song, and I was like, everyone cried when that was in the movie, but I was kind of sitting there. But when this song came on, the finale of Les Mis, boom, chills.
Oh, so wait, the finale or One Day More?
Isn't that at the end?
One Day More is like right before it's the end of the first act. The ending song is a reprise of Do You Hear the People Sing?
And then, but it begins with One Day More.
No. One Day More. One Day More comes in right. One Day More comes
spoiler
in.
alert, when Jean Valjean is dying.
That's Do You Hear the People Sing?
No, but right before that, when he's singing If You Ask Me to Stay Alive or something.
Oh, that's Bring Him Home.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
You meant
That's what I meant.
Bring him home.
It really left an impact.
But bring him home. No, yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
On this page, I write my last
Yeah.
confession. Yeah, that one.
All right, Joel.
I went different emotion because he's going for powerful emotion. I'm going for makes me cry every blinking time.
All right.
Joel cries.
And it's the part at the end of A Little Fall of Rain when Eponine doesn't sing the last word. When he says, they're going to say, and rain will make the flowers grow. And they're singing, and rain
We'll make the flowers.
will make the flowers. And then she doesn't sing. She does that.
That's beautiful.
I love it when that sound comes up too. Yeah.
And then but he just sings that last grow by himself. And every time I'm like, dang it. In fact, when we watched the play yesterday, I said to my wife, the song started, and I said, if you could please not look over here for the next 3 minutes, I'll be happy.
Do you really cry?
Every single time.
You're wonderful.
You know I cry at everything.
You really do.
Oh gosh.
Brittany, do you feel emotions?
My autism doesn't
emotions?
generally let me feel very emotional about things. I get really emotional after he's stolen and the priest is like kind of granted him his freedom again.
Yeah.
And he has this conversation like with God or whoever. It's like, he told me that I have a soul. How does he know?
Yeah.
Like kind of thing. And it's this, because I think that speaks to my life right now, this sort of existential crisis of like, this person tells me that I'm of worth and value. He says that God cares about me. Like, why should I be a good person? Why? You know, and it's just like, and that gets me right in the feels. So, so that I think, even though it's just sort of this incidental piece of music,
it's good too.
Then that,
No, it's a very well done one.
So
once again, Brittney brings it real.
Yeah, right?
No, it's good.
Nicely
You're bringing the heart into the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, because Kent doesn't have one.
I know. Thank you. Please.
And I just cry every time I bring up heart, so I try to get my emotions in the back.
Heart the band.
Right.
Heart, they're so good.
But I will say that whenever I hear music of the night, like I get excited. Like I don't know what it is about music of the night, but I just, and that's from Phantom. Like his song is, I don't know.
But we all voted Les Mis officially.
Yeah, Les Mis.
Okay. Which has the best characters overall? Who's got the best characters?
I think Phantom has the more interesting characters because they're more caricatures.
Yeah, they're more distinguishable in that way.
Yeah.
Is that your official vote, though?
Yes. Nope. Going with Les Mis.
Yeah, you gotta go with sincerity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's two great characters in Phantom, or there's Jean Valjean, Javert, Cosette, Marius, Eponine.
Yeah.
How do you say their names again? Thénardier and Fantine. There's so many characters, and you care about most of them.
It's Les Mis.
I'm giving it to Phantom, though.
Yeah?
I'm giving it to Phantom because, like in our Star Wars episode, Star Wars vs. Lord of the Rings, we talked about how the characters from Star Wars are immediately recognizable as characters from Star Wars, whereas those from Lord of the Rings could be from a lot of different medieval and fantasy novels. And I feel like Les Mis, once again, I feel like you look at Phantom, you look at Christine, it's just Phantom alone. He's immediately recognizable. He's the villain. He's the hero. He's everyone. And then Carlotta is such a big character. And so, I'm
over
going to
Jean Valjean? Jean Valjean himself beats anything in Phantom.
You already won the round.
I'm just saying.
And we can't have too much agreement on the show.
Okay. No more high fives. Brittney? Everyone we each high fives.
That sounded real.
Okay. Best finale. Kent.
I already spoiled this one because I felt something at the finale of Les Mis.
What was that like for you exactly?
It was weird.
What are these emotions welling up inside my chest?
It started small.
Who am I?
Why are my cheeks wet?
And it was like 37 spiders crawling up my neck.
Oh, I know that. Chills.
Right?
You had chills.
Yeah.
Oh, like when Fantine, come with me, where pain will never
Every time.
If I could cry, I would right now.
I'm not kidding. So this is kind of a spoiler, but not.
Are you
really.
watery-eyed right now?
No, I'm not watery-eyed right now.
I'm just sweating.
It looked
So
like it was.
you guys know How It Should Have Ended on YouTube. They have the How It Should Have Ended cartoons.
Oh, I watched this one.
They did one for Logan, and spoiler alert for Logan. I guess I don't really have to say that, but
No.
How should it have ended?
So at the end of Logan, all of a sudden they have Fantine appear, and they do this whole goodbye to Hugh Jackman's character of Logan, because it's the final movie, they say.
Right.
And he said this is his final performance, says it. And they do this whole kind of, do you hear the people sing finale reprise with all the characters from the X-Men and how long he's been playing it and how he's always going to be Logan. I got emotional during that. And it's because this ending, when Fantine comes and takes his hand and says, you'll be with God. I don't remember how she says it, but because of your self-sacrifice, you'll be with God, and you'll finally get to rest and not be chased. Like not chased, but chased.
Oh, okay.
But the ending of the best finale has got to be Les Mis.
Well, and that's when they say the epic, the line, right, is to love another person is to see the face of God.
Right, yeah.
Good stuff, right?
But I still choose Phantom.
How? Wait, you like the finale with the
because
hand at the level of your eyes stuff, or
no, the finale, meaning like when it all sort of just like falls apart and you see the Phantom sitting there dejected, and off in the distance you hear Raoul and Christine say you love me.
He has to hear it.
And he's sitting there listening to it.
And I love that last line. That's good.
If you've ever been the person who doesn't get the person, like you're the runner-up in everything, then that you identify a lot more than some like ghost woman coming and beckoning you to heaven. Like I have no reference for that.
I love ghosts. That's what you're saying.
Well, I love that. I love the last line too when he says, "You alone can make my song take flight," and then he says, "It's over now." The music of the night, and it's the big crashing moment.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's the longing, and that's like the unrequited whatever. And again, like I have no reference for gowned vixens beckoning me to God. Like I just
you haven't?
No.
Happened like 3 times during the show here. I may be having heart problems, guys. I'm not sure.
Phantom.
Yeah.
Okay, next
What
category.
did Ken pick?
Les
He was Les
Mis.
Mis, so Les Mis won that one.
Man, have I geeked out about both of these, though? Am I showing my love for both
Yeah,
of them?
you're actually going
Except for-
pretty even on this one.
When I did the categories, I'm going to say this.
I
as
think you're
kind of
leaning
a
one way.
precursor. Well, when I did the categories, because I went down the line, we had 29, and it was 14 one and 15 the other. Like, it was really close for me. I love both of these.
That is close.
How many have we gotten through? Like 4?
We have.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry.
We
Brittany.
have 5
Oh, I don't
left.
care.
How long do we have this theater rented?
I mean, all night. You can sleep here if you want.
Is it haunted?
It might be.
Don't say that because Joel's just going to do Don Quixote. He's going to do the Man of La Mancha.
I am my Don
That's one of my weaker
Quixote.
ones. I'm not as
Really?
I'm not as good at that one.
I love that show.
To dream
I need to watch that.
the impossible dream.
Such a great show.
All right, the last 5 are really good ones, so I'm happy to
All right.
close up on these. The next one,
We're on the home stretch, everybody.
best love song.
Oh, that's gotta be all I ask of you.
It's got to be all I
It's
ask
all
of
I
you.
ask of you.
Yeah.
When I wrote the Phantom of the HVAC with my buddy Ryan. Oh, you guys met him, American
The
History.
HVAC, as in like
Yeah.
air conditioning.
No, it's in the HVAC, like the Harris Fine Arts Center. So it was like this. It's you know how Desert Star does Utah parody.
Yeah.
These were BYU specific parodies, and
Okay.
we did the All I Ask of You, and it was all very Mormon-y, like we just met, but I obviously love you, stuff like that.
Nice.
And at the end, they run up and do the anywhere you go, let me go to. They did that in the audience and like stepped over people to get to each other. It was all very entertaining. But that song, even that parody version, it's so romantic.
It's a
Yeah.
little needy, though, right?
Yeah.
Say you love me every waking moment.
Yeah.
Like, take it easy, all right? You don't stage 5 cleaner.
You don't do that?
Well, I don't.
He said that to me.
Thank you, Joel.
He said that to me like 3 nights ago.
Oh, wow.
Say you need me with you now and always. I mean, like, and they says
romantic.
that's all I ask of you. It's like you're asking pretty much everything.
Right.
You're asking for a lot. Yeah.
There's not. I mean, there's the Marius and Cosette song is not that good between
No.
the two of them.
Heart full of love.
He was never mine to lose.
Heart full of
You like how I did the nasal thing?
Yeah.
That was for you.
Is that Steve Urkel?
No, that, he plays Eponine. I know, I was doing the nasal stuff for her. I do like On My Own by Eponine.
Yeah.
But that's unrequited love, so I didn't feel it was as romantic. But man, that's a good song, too.
It is.
All right.
All right, best solo.
That might be music of the night for
You like
me.
for Phantom?
It could be, or okay, come back to me.
That is a great one.
Bring Him Home by Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because that one is the one that gets more
shocked.
applause than anything in Les Mis.
No. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that neither one of you picked the one that I thought was a shoe-in.
Which is?
I thought it was going to be Who Am I?
Oh, yeah,
from Les
great
Mis.
one. That's a
Oh
great
no!
one.
Oh, no. I love
The goat
struggle.
ruined it.
The goat?
Have you not seen the Who Am I? 2460.
Yeah, it's the screaming,
Screaming
goat.
goat.
on
What is this, YouTube?
Yeah. No, I like Who Am I? I
wanna
love
see
that
that now.
song of him just trying to figure out who he is in that moment. And then I love the idea of this guy. He could have gotten away with it, but then he decides he's going to go in there and convict himself and become Jean Valjean again.
Right.
And I just love.
Okay,
and
what do we
hitting
have
that
so
note.
far? Les
So
Mis.
Les Mis, Brittany.
I'm gonna go with music of the night. Phantom.
I also gave honorable mention to On My Own and I Dreamed a Dream. Both of those I feel like are powerful numbers when done
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, 3 more. Most overall emotional impact. Which one gave you the biggest punch?
Les Mis. If it makes you cry. If it doesn't make you cry, you have no soul, Kent. And I'd be able to, like,
He already said it did, though.
It didn't make me cry, but I felt things.
I just like the redemption of Jean Valjean and the relentlessness of Javert and the poor revolutionaries. I mean, man, everybody dies.
Empty chairs at empty tables.
We'll get to that.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Les Mis. Easy.
I'm so biased, and I think honestly, again, it's because I've never been a century French peasant. But
And you did say, like, growing up, you really felt for these two characters in Phantom.
I know, and so it's almost like I want to answer these questions like objectively and subjectively. You know,
There's no objectiveness in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Unless it's awards or run times.
Yep.
For me, it's like Phantom hits all of my emotions, all of them: lust, anger, longing,
Hunger?
I don't get really hungry.
There's that scene in when I think he feeds her in the cave, but yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Like, oh yeah,
Like
this is good
my
stuff.
need for monkeys. I mean, I just
Castor's a monkey.
Yes.
so it's Phantom.
All right.
That was 2 Les Mis and a Phantom, right?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure I got that right.
Two lame Mrs. and a
Phantom.
saxophone. I don't know.
Let's bring it back into this.
Stupid.
All right. Most dramatic moment.
And
Les Mis.
that's the one where I say when everybody dies. Empty chairs and empty tables. Okay, and also the 1988 film had a scene where Gavroche gets shot. The little boy gets shot through the chest, and he makes this horrible noise, and it scarred me. But that whole scene of all these guys just thinking they're going to change the world, and then they all get plowed down. In the movie, they're all up on the second floor, and the guards at the bottom just shoot up, and they all just fall. And it was just so dramatic.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I'm saying Les Mis.
Agreed.
I'm saying Les Mis, but I am taking this scene for Javert realizing that Jean Valjean just saved his life.
Oh, okay.
Because he hates himself for it. Because he's a criminal, but he realizes he owes his life to this criminal.
Which I always got bugged by that as a kid. I was like, what the heck, dude? Just deal with it.
Right.
But,
you get it.
I kind of understand that's his whole purpose in life when that's taken
Moral
away.
relativism.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying it that way.
All right, guys, are you ready for the final category?
This is the final one?
The final one. And I am not going to tell you what the tally is so far. You're going to have to just
Can you tell us? Can
vote.
you tell us if it's like close or if it's been a blowout or no?
blowout?
Don't tell us. Don't tell us because I want it to be.
What do you want me to tell you exactly
Don't tell me
here?
anything. Just tell me the category. Tell me the category.
All right, here's the category. Which of these two plays has the greatest legacy?
I think the word was biggest legacy when we had the category.
I think greatest sounds better.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Is it change your vote if it's biggest?
A little bit. Greatest and biggest. Well, because she mentioned that the cast Les Mis is just severely obese, and
like biggest doesn't really make sense, honestly.
I'll go first on this one. I feel that Phantom has had the biggest legacy. You see that in Home Improvement or Tiny Toon Adventures or Doctor Who. There's a whole episode that's based on the Phantom of the Opera. It's in MacGyver, Fresh Prince. Like I have all these shows that have referenced Phantom of the Opera.
Legacy.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like this had,
but Prison Break references Les Mis, so
why are we choosing? Okay,
and the legacy. Well, and I mean, I'm bringing that up just because I feel like Phantom of the Opera had such a big cultural impact that people still reference it today, and it's become this. You could do Phantom of the Blank, and you probably can find a TV show or something else that has kind of parodied that because that. And just the story itself has been done so many times over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the legacy that I'm going for. And also, if you just look at Halloween costumes alone, how many Javert costumes do you see walking around? How many Phantoms? Boom.
Really, do you see a lot of Phantoms at Halloween?
All right, Kent, we're going to
Jason masks.
We're going to go to you next, Kent.
Oh, by the way, Jason has a better legacy.
This was a fun little fact, by the way. Apparently, Les Mis was The Fugitive was kind of based on Javert chasing Valjean, like that TV show. They created it kind of based on Javert and Valjean.
All right, Kent.
I'm just going to call an audible right here because I had not really decided this one. But to make the show a little bit more fun, I'm going to say Les Mis.
Yeah,
on this one.
I think that's just your real vote.
Is it my real vote?
I don't know. You've been going Les Mis a lot on these because of the feels. You're not used to that. So
he doesn't have feels.
So many feels.
So many. I think that they will never make a Phantom of the Opera movie ever again because that last one was so forgettable and it's not really accessible like I was trying to say. I think
it wasn't bad though.
We will see another Les Mis movie on and on because it's such a classic story.
You think so?
Yes. And whether or not it's based on the book or if it's based on the play or even another adaptation of the movie, Les Mis will continue to live on and Phantom will kind of disappear and kind of be a joke costume.
It's not a joke costume, though. It's a cultural impact. It's a part of our society. It's who we are. Who am I?
I think that
this is the final vote. Although I don't know if this is going to determine.
It may not change anything, but like I said before, I think that it hasn't been until fairly recently that Les Mis has become relevant. I think that for a long time, Les Mis was a favorite of theater goers. Okay. So if you knew theater, then you knew Les Mis. You had to kind of be a theater person or at least familiar with theater to be familiar with Les Mis. Whereas I think everyone knew what Phantom was, even if they hadn't seen it yet or whatever. It was
the Mask and the Rose, and
I think that, like you said, it had such a cultural impact that. And I honestly think it's Phantom, and even if they never make another Phantom movie, I don't think that's really relevant. And again, I go back to the rights haven't been released because they can sell out still to this day. On Broadway, they don't have to release the rights ever. Yeah. I mean, he's released the rights to everything else.
Right.
You know, so I mean,
in your mutated face, Kent.
I actually wrote Phantom on my list right now. I just want to make it a little more fun.
But it's a Phantom win.
you're so contrary.
All right, Jacob. So now
what I do.
we are about to declare which is the better, or which is the bigger, which is the greatest
All
between
right.
these two.
So you guys have now voted for Phantom for having the greatest legacy, also the biggest legacy, because that makes sense.
But
it still loses
are you
to Les
kidding
Mis,
me?
16 to 14.
So Les Mis?
I'm shocked by that.
I am too.
I really thought Phantom was going to take it.
I think it was getting a lot. I demand a recount.
I counted like 6 times.
I don't know. It's Jacob counting. Can
Is it questionable
Let's get Levi
counting?
in here. Let's get an independent.
So Les Mis
counter.
wins.
Les Mis wins.
If I may,
Les Mis
I don't want to
wins.
skew this, but we talk about our show a lot, and
Yeah.
everyone I talked to, I think maybe 10 people said Les Mis is the better play, and 2 people were very adamant that because I think Phantom has like a bigger cult fan
Right.
base, and Les Mis, everyone's like, well, clearly that's better.
I
they
think
like the
I think
movie.
you're going to run into a lot of theater kids who are like me that grew up on Phantom.
Right.
And so it holds like this super special place, but then there are lots of people who grew up on Les Mis too. It's one of those two. I think those are the interchangeable, quintessential, which is why you compared them.
I
Probably.
really like how the greatest legacy went to Phantom, but still lost. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, in like I said, in my categories, Phantom got the edge, 15 to 14 Les Mis. Like, and it's super close. I love both of these musicals so much. I'm not disappointed. I probably would have leaned more Phantom, but I'm not disappointed that Les Mis took it.
Yeah.
Should we give a quick run? Now that's probably too many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too
So,
many.
Brittany,
And we're short
are
on time.
either of these your favorite play, or do you actually have a favorite musical?
I would say that in terms of nostalgia and things, like Phantom will always be my favorite.
Okay.
It really will. Like, do I think it's the best musical out there? No. Like it's really not, but I just love it. It holds this beautiful little dark place in my heart. So
Oh, that was cute.
yeah.
Kindred Souls right there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is I haven't listened to these as much as I used to these days, but binge listening to them
great.
for like watching the movies and listening to the CDs. It's been constant in my house, and it really has just made me happy. Like, I was giddy doing the research for this.
Yeah.
So thank you
We
guys for
couldn't
letting
tell, Joel.
thank you for letting me geek out a bit with a fellow theater geek.
And that really did not come through at all. So I'm glad you told us.
Yeah, I don't know. It's rough for me to get excited about things. But Brittany, to wrap things up, why don't you tell us where people can find you, what you're up to?
My address is
No.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay. It was just funny because you told me that your podcast was family friendly. And so I said, well, can I even tell them the name of my blog on your podcast?
I allowed it,
And
yes.
use it as be fine.
So,
so it's www.
Wait. Kids, turn on the music for a second. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. www.anxiouswhitevirgin.com.
Which is hilarious, really.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's like I will say that it probably is like an 18 and older kind of read.
Okay.
Hey, we
not
all count.
necessarily. Yeah,
We can read
not
that.
necessarily because there are like really offensive things in there, but just because there's
There's adult themes.
there's adult themes.
Yes.
Throughout.
I've read some of it.
Yeah, and sometimes
if it's
there
okay
are
for
swears.
Me, guys.
Yeah, sometimes there are swears, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And then also performing wise, Adam's Family.
Yeah, the Sandy City, the illustrious Sandy City.
She'll be playing Morticia Adams.
yeah,
nice.
which is a bucket list for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
bucket
good.
list
You're
role.
going to do great at that.
Is it a musical or just a play?
Yeah, no, it's a musical.
It's the Addams Family musical.
It's an adaptation.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has MC Hammer doing the soundtrack.
I finally get to
They
put
do what
my
they want to do, say what they want to say.
Live how they want to live, play how they want
I
to
finally
play.
get to put my translucent skin to good use. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And can people still catch you at the Desert Star occasionally, or are we doing Adam's Family
maybe
primarily?
someday. Maybe
Okay.
someday back at the Desert Star. I'm taking a break
Okay.
from there and doing
Well,
other.
you did it for like 10 years, you said. so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do ingenue roles before I age out.
What does ingenue mean again?
Again.
That's what you are on the podcast.
Full
Yeah,
circle. Oh,
you're the ingenue.
Oh, you guys are seeking me.
Cute.
You're winning me over.
Are you on Twitter or anything like that?
What's a Twitter? Yeah, everything is anxious white virgin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter. They find me at QuickWits as well. They perform every Saturday night at the Midville Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the QuickWits Facebook page.
If you want to find me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. And if you want to read my movie reviews, it's ShowtimeShowdown.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Jacob A. Rogers, or make the smarter move and go to Baconsale's Twitter account at Baconsale. Also go to our merchandise page, which is gumroad.com/Baconsale.
So until next time. Do you hear the people speak? Talking pop culture with a guest. We brought up 2 amazing musicals to see which is the best. Brittany let us in her home. Now Femin August has begun. We have declared Les Misérables our number one. We alienate people all the time.
Okay.
Isn't that right, losers in Kansas?
And they were very, I don't want to say weird, but weird.
There's not even a monkey in the script, but we need a monkey.
It's an original story that didn't come from history books.
Stupid history.
Hate history.
So pretentious.
We all know you hate history, Joel.
Because I've never been a 17th century French peasant. Oh, I hate Stallone so hard.
In my head, I had already destroyed your credibility.
I am your angel of music, Jacob. A mutant
uncle
who kills people.
Right.
It was pretty seductive.
Right? You nerd out so hard on this stuff.
And just like that, Brittney made it real.
Subtitles were on, so I'm also 90.
You know what? Les wears rags. That's right. I'm throwing out theater terms now.
No, it's cute. I want him to dig a hole. No one does spectacle like Andrew Lloyd Webber. But instead of selling their bodies, they're selling bread. And I'm just like,
What? That is insensitive to the gluten intolerant.
No.
Tell us the story and sing a song. Hold on, is he mutated?
No, but he is disturbed. Know your place.
Right.
Like a woman.
And I am Javert. Do not forget my name. I get to wear makeup. I get to put a mask on. I get to kiss pretty girls. This is all a good thing.
I can move well. That's what I put on my resume. Moves well. There are some that would call me Eric.
I am a child singing in Cockney accents.
There you go.
They're mind hammers. I hate Russell Crowe so hard.
Go now and leave me.
He's here for phantom of the opera.
Yeah, I just did that.
It's just like
Kent
the
and I.
match game, and then at the end,
Yeah.
I get to.
Well, Kent is single.
People laugh. Like, not really a joke.